one of the things I want to point out in there too is that the reference to the laws of nature and of nature's God, okay, is part of the foundation here too. And this part may be a little more familiar to a lot of you guys, but we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it goes along a little bit from there. But the one thing I want to really focus on here too is that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator. This is in our Declaration of Independence. Okay? This is the document that founded our country. Okay? That we're endowed with certain unalienable rights. Why are they unalienable? Because God's truth is absolute. Okay? So you see, at the core of what our country, our nation was founded on, is this whole Christian principle, this idea of a supreme God to set everything up, and that, you know what, we're just going to take part of it in this way. Okay? Is that a political document or a religious document? Yes. Absolutely right. It's both. Okay? And I think about our country today. How many people will look at that and say, yes, that is a religious document? Our country was founded on the idea of a supreme God being in charge of everything and giving us the rights that we have. When you think of the rights that we have, who decides the rights that we have in our country today? A bunch of lawyers and attorneys and stuff, right? Rachel says she does.
Voting yesterday, right?
That's right, voting. We don't exactly live in a Christian society anymore. Okay? The separation of church and state, basically the separation of church and state says the government will stay out of the church. It doesn't say that the church is going to stay out of the government. A lot of people take it that way. Okay? We live in a society where TV ads, which I think is the worst part of TV, the worst part isn't necessarily the shows that are on, I think it's the advertising of the marketing specialists that are trained to make us think the way that they want us to think. Okay? But we're blasted with TV ads all the time telling us how we need to think. Do they have a godly influence in mind? No. They have an influence to have you give other people your money. Okay? The government says that kids can't pray in school. They teach a theory of evolution in school as though it's a fact, while the fact of creation and the supreme designer is dismissed as a myth. People are pointing to the government to be responsible for everything. You know, I feel really bad for victims of Katrina. Okay? But at the same time, you live in a coastal city that's below sea level, and you're blaming the government for a hurricane coming through and wiping you out? Sorry, people in this country are not taking personal responsibility for what they need to be taken. They're pointing to the government to take it. But honestly, that's almost communist. Okay? Tolerance is expected of us as Christians, even though people are not tolerant of our worldview. Why is it so important then for us to have the mind of Christ? If we don't, who will? You know, so I think, kind of wrap this up, we're expected to grow and mature as Christians. How do we do that? We do that by the experiences that we have. I think one thing is we get more time to dig into these things that we talked about a little bit tonight and stuff too, is that you'll see that as you go through and do those things and have those experiences in prayer and in discipleship and in outreach and in ministry to the body and stuff like that too, that it's through those experiences that we develop more the mind of Christ. As you see lost people come in and come watch a movie with us, they'll start to develop more the mind of Christ. You know, so why do we do it? Like I said, if we don't, who's going to think about it then? So with that, I want to challenge you guys. because we're really kind of getting into a phase with this ministry now too, where we're really coming up with a lot more ideas for things to do and things that we can get out and get outside of this room even and stuff like that too, because the last thing I want this group to be is a group that's totally comfortable with sitting in this room all the time saying, I love my young adults group. You know what? I love my young adults group even more when we start busting out of these walls and start bringing more people in here too that have never known it before, and start changing that world around us and start recreating a Christian society. Because if we don't, who will? So, final thought, I want to leave you with our focus creed, which was, through God we will unite to transform our world by representing Christ, growing together and equipping God's people in order to honor and glorify His name. That's what it's all about. That's what we are here for. Let's pray.